Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Kim.
I'm Brandon. Hello.
Well, Brandon, I want to let you know that based on our article, I felt kind of guilty about my clothes. So I went and returned everything I bought yesterday, and I went for slow fashion.
Ooh, nice new purse.
Thank you. It cost me $3,000.
That's a lot of money.
But it's slow fashion.
That's a good idea.
No, I have to ask though. What are you wearing?
Oh, well, I also took to heart our last article, and I thought I don't want to do fast fashion anymore. I want clothes that'll last me forever in any situation. So I bought a blanket. Huh? And the blanket is slow fashion because it also cost me $3,000. And I'll never get another one. And I'll just wear it everywhere. It's slow fashion. That's how it works, right?
You're gonna wear it everywhere?
Like, yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how slow fashion works.
Okay. That's good. All right, well, let's get into our article then.
All right.
Part of slow fashion is about the clothes companies. They want their clothes to last, so they design them to be timeless. Also, they only use good natural materials.
All right, this is Help the World with Slow Fashion Part 2. And we will find out exactly how you can help the world by doing slow fashion instead of fast fashion.
So slow fashion, let's get into it. Part of slow fashion is about the clothes companies. They want their clothes to last, so they design them to be timeless.
Okay, so that's one way to get people to buy them over a long period of time.
And I totally understand now that, and I think our guess was right. Our guess was right in that these clothes are built to last. They design them to last. So what does it mean to design something? It means you plan how it looks, or you plan how it will work. So an inventor could design his or her new invention. Or a clothes designer could make a drawing of what they think the clothes should look like.
Right, and they design these clothes to be timeless. Timeless means you can't really tell if this thing existed 50 years ago or in the modern day. So one example of timeless fashion I can think of is blue jeans.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure my grandparents wore blue jeans. I wear them. I'm sure generations down the line, people will still be wearing blue jeans. So they're really timeless. They work in all time periods.
Well, and another type of fashion that for women that's been around for hundreds of years is a dress.
Yes.
Wearing a dress. And for men, a suit with a tie. And that kind of formal wear that people would normally put on. That's a timeless kind of clothing that they have.
Right. Okay, it continues. Also, they only use good natural materials.
Oh, well, that's nice. Okay, so they actually have to go look for things that are maybe good for the world or not harmful to the world, and that they're natural as well. So a natural material, it means it comes from the world. So if something is natural, it hasn't been changed very much. For example, if you were to take some nuts from a tree, you would just keep them and don't do anything to them, and maybe wash them, and then they're ready to be eaten, natural nuts. Some people might roast them or put salt or change them or make some other thing with them and they become less natural. But natural means it comes from nature and it's from the world.
Right, they're using natural materials, I guess like cotton.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe canvas. I'm not sure if that's really natural. That might be mixed. But these materials are things that start out in one form and they change to make something else. So cotton, as I mentioned, can be made into a t-shirt or shorts or anything else that you want to make. And they're using natural materials that come from the earth. So I'm sure that includes some kind of metal, maybe iron, Maybe you have iron on your shoes?
Yeah, it could be.
Not
It
sure.
might rust. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, these natural materials. Materials could be just about anything that we get from the world. You could use, not for clothes necessarily, but wood could be a material for a project you're making, like for a table. Or you could create metal material. That could be a material you're using to make something. And so there's lots of different kinds of materials that you could use for just about anything. And for clothes, it basically is cotton. That's the most common one.
Yeah, you're not going to have a wood shirt. That'd be kind of weird.
I want a wood shirt now that you said it.
Well, let's take a break and see if we can find you a wood shirt, and we'll be right back.
Yay.
The companies take their time to make their clothes. They do it locally and in small amounts. They pay attention to their workers and the environment as well. People make up the other part of slow fashion. They use their old clothes until they can't. When they buy clothes, they don't buy a lot, and they don't buy cheap fast fashion.
All right, welcome back from the break. We were learning about slow fashion and how they make it. They use these materials that are natural, and so it's good for the planet, or at least not bad, I suppose. But let's continue on and find out some more about this slow fashion.
All right.
It says, the companies take their time to make their clothes. They do it locally and in small amounts.
Ah, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they're doing this locally. Locally just means the area right around where you're living. So if you're living right here in the middle of town, and your local area or locally would just be in that area, not somewhere 50 miles down the road or in the next county or in a different country. It's just where you live. And I guess they do that to cut down on the cost. If you make something in this city and you have to bring it to another city, then that's kind of bad for the environment because you have to drive a truck.
Yeah, you have to drive a truck, or if it's from another country, fly a plane to get it there. So those can cut down on the costs, and they can also be better for the whole world because there's less pollution. Yeah. And so they do this, the word we saw was amount. The amount is just how much of something, right?
Right.
And so how much of something, what's the amount of money you have, or what's the amount of clothes you have? It's how many clothes do you have, how much money do you have? So that's the amount of something. Yeah, okay.
So they're making these in small amounts. I guess the point is that they're not using big factories to make them, which is also bad for the environment. So they're probably having people actually like hand stitch them or hand dye them, things like that. And so they can only make a few. They can't make a whole bunch like you could if you were a big factory clothing company.
The downside would be it's probably more expensive to buy, but the upside is it should be that price.
Right.
It's better that way for the world. We can't keep just buying all these cheap clothes and throwing them away in the garbage.
Well, what else do they do? It says they pay attention to their workers and the environment as well.
That's really great. So they're taking care of their workers. The worker is the person at that place doing the job. So if you have like a McDonald's or someplace, the workers are the people who make the hamburgers and make the French fries and clean up the place. And those are the workers.
Could also be employees, another word for employees.
Oh, that is, you're right. Employee is like the worker of some place. And they said environment, they take care of the environment. They try to protect the environment. That's really great. What they're doing is good for the environment. The environment is just that area, or your area, or the area you're talking about. Environment usually talks about like nature and the things that like have trees and forests and rivers and all of that. That's the environment. But environment could really just be any place that you're in, really.
Yeah, I think the big difference there is using the word the. So if you're in your learning environment, then that's school. If you're in your working environment, then that's your job. But when you say the environment, we're talking about the whole Earth.
Yeah.
And the place that we all live on this planet, that is the environment.
Yeah, and generally it would be like the natural places that we think of, like those forests and mountains and places like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, it continues. People make up the other part of slow fashion. They use their old clothes until they can't. When they buy clothes, they don't buy a lot, and they don't buy cheap, fast fashion.
Wow, that just sounds like really good advice.
Exactly. So try to keep to clothes that are well made, can last you a while. They might be a little more expensive, but in the end, it's kind of worth it. You get a lot of wear out of them.
Well, and you can think of it if you spend $50 on a pair of boots that are going to break very quickly, and maybe you have to get another pair of boots the next year, that's $100 for 2 years. Or you could spend $300 and maybe get some boots that last you 30 years or something like that.
And so, there's the difference, yeah.
So actually it might be more expensive at first, but it's going to save you a lot of money over your whole life.
Right, I think that's a good idea behind slow fashion. Maybe I have to consider that.
I'll have to tell my wife about it because her closet is completely full of clothes.
Well, you get home and you tell her that. And thank you for joining us. Remember to shop smart and try to do some more slow fashion in your life. And we will see you next time.
Part of slow fashion is about the clothes companies. They want their clothes to last, so they design them to be timeless. Also, they only use good, natural materials. The companies take their time to make their clothes. They do it locally and in small amounts. They pay attention to their workers and the environment as well. People make up the other part of slow fashion. They use their old clothes until they can't. When they buy clothes, they don't buy a lot, and they don't buy cheap, fast fashion.
Hello， 大家好，我是维尼，准备好来看今天的新生字了吗？第一个字是 design， 动词，设计。A famous architect designed this museum. 这间博物馆是由一个知名的建筑师所设计的。接着是 natural， 形容词，天然的。很多人常常会跟 nature 傻傻分不清楚。从词性来看呢，第一个是形容词，后者呢则是不可数的名词，这样就不会搞混咯。It's nice to have some natural light in the house. 房子里面呢有一些自然的采光会很棒。第三个是 amount， 名词，数量或是总数。补充一下，我们很常看到 a huge amount of 加名词，这个用法它是用来表示数量很多。那特别注意的是后面要接不可数名词。我们来看个句子 ：These kids have a huge amount of energy. 这些孩子有满满的活力。那这边的 energy 要记得是不可数哦。最后呢是 worker 名词，员工。Workers at this company usually clock out at 6:30. 这间公司的员工通常在6点30分打卡下班。再来看看今天的新用语，第一个用语是 A is about B，A 关乎于 B，about 呢是表示关于，那这边这个片语呢用来说明 B 是 A 的重点所在。Being a good friend is about trust and support。当一个好朋友呢是关乎信任还有支持。再来呢是 pay attention to。关心或是重视 ，attention 呢是名词，注意。那 pay attention to 呢，就是把你的关心付出在某件事情上面，就是关心重视的意思。Passengers should pay attention to the flight attendant's instructions。乘客呢应该要注意空服人员的指示。最后呢是 A makes up B，A 构成组成 B。Make up 呢是必学的片语之一。那它有几种不同的意思，这边是 A 组成构成 B， 有分主动还有被动的用法。那主动呢就会是 A makes up B， 指 A 是 B 的一部分。那被动的话呢是 B is made up of A， 指 B 是由 A 组成。我们来看例句 ：Women make up about 50% of the population in Taiwan。在台湾呢，女性比例大概占了总人口的50%。我们再来看另外一个句子 ：The United States is made up of 50 states. 50个州组成了美国。我们今天就到这喽，下次见。
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen.
I'm Ian.
We're going to play a game called Guess the Bear, where each of us has 3 words or phrases on these cards. I'm going to read 2 sentences for each of these. I'm going to say the word bear instead of the word. You have to guess what that word is in 1 minute.
I'm ready.
All right, let's start the clock. All right, the first one, this is a noun, 1 word. The construction bears are taking a lunch break. Number 2, the bears have unionized against their boss.
Worker.
Whoa, nice. Okay, this is a noun, 1 word. The bear of comments I got on my last post is very overwhelming. Number 2, she always adds the perfect bear of honey into my tea.
Drop barrage. Go on, say the first one again.
The bear of comments I got on my last post is very overwhelming.
Mount.
Woo, good job. Okay, this is phrase, 2 words. Okay, the teachers never bared bear to Nate. Number 2, please bear to me when I'm talking.
Look directly.
Please bear to me when I'm talking.
Listen.
The teachers never bared bear to Nate.
Never listen directly. Never.
Oh, so close. That one's kind of hard. Okay,
never get the
it's
third one.
pay attention. Okay, so it's the teachers never paid attention to Nate, and the second one was please pay attention to me when I'm talking.
Okay.
All right, Ian?
I thought I did.
Okay, all right, my turn.
All right, Stephen. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First word, it's a verb.
Okay.
Betty bared her mug herself. Grant likes to bear websites for his friends.
Make?
Yeah, close.
Create?
Sort of.
Design?
Yes, designs.
Yes, okay.
Okay. And it's an adjective.
Okay.
This recipe for organic frosting calls for all bare ingredients.
Okay.
The living room gets lots of bare sunlight in the afternoon.
Bright? No, it has a lot of warm. Or,
Yeah. This recipe for organic frosting calls for all bare ingredients.
Natural.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got it. Okay. Third one is a phrase. It's 2 words.
Okay.
This self-help book, Bear, Overcoming Your Fears. Toy Story, Bear, a world where toys can come to life.
What's the second one again?
Toy Story, Bear, a world where toys can come to life.
I don't know. What was it?
Is about.
Oh, it's
This self-help book is about overcoming your fears. Toy Story is about a world where toys can come to life.
always trying to complicate things in my mind.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot easier than you thought, actually.
Yeah, it's okay. Tied. We're tied.
We are tied, yeah.
See you next time.